Hey everybody, Kris here, and this is Ready to Die Fighting. And today, I am not going to do a workout. I already worked out earlier, and I did a pretty good workout yesterday. Kicked my own ass, and so I really don't feel like doing a real workout right now. But I do want to talk about what I did yesterday, because I thought it was really good, and I enjoyed it, and it's something I want to keep doing, and I think I'll get some improvement from it. So normally, when I'm working the different bags, I may have one thing in particular I'm trying to improve or focus on, or I might just be doing it just to be throwing punches, just to build the endurance and stamina, and I guess that's the same thing, isn't it? Power, all that. Maybe sometimes just burning calories. Like, I don't even really care what I'm doing. I just want to burn through some calories. And I just feel like any punching is the more you do something, the better you get at it, right? Doesn't really matter what I'm working on. That's probably true, but you could probably get better faster and better if you're actually focused and thinking about what you're doing and have a strategy involved. So that's what I did yesterday. I went 16 rounds on the heavy bag, mostly on the heavy bag. I did 4 on the double end bag, and each round I concentrated on a different, I guess, element or weakness that I have. And 3 minutes is a long enough round where that was a good workout. I was pretty exhausted afterwards, but it was a good exhausted. Like, I felt good afterwards. But it was long enough where I felt like I could really work on those things. 2 minutes is honestly kind of too short. That extra minute does make a big difference, because I often will try to work on something if I'm working a 2-minute round, which is what I had been working on. I would split 1 minute on the left hand, 1 minute on the right hand, and just having an extra 30 seconds on each hand. I liked the 3 minutes. It seemed like a good amount of time to actually improve and get used to something. And right about when I was starting to get tired or maybe even bored with it, kind of felt like I had it down, the 3 minutes was up and we were good. And I had a 1 minute break and start over on the next thing. So it was a good way to go. Going to try to do that every Sunday is the plan. Every Sunday for the month of April is the plan to do that. So let me just give you the breakdown, and I'm not going to do the full workout. Like I said, I already worked out, and 3 minutes, 16 rounds. That ended up being over an hour, and I don't want to do an hour-long video. I'm sure you don't want to watch it. So let's see, what did I do? The first 4 rounds, I kind of just wanted to focus on technique more. Not so much going for power or speed necessarily, but the first round, focusing on the jab with the left hand. So just left hand jab, throwing as many of them as I could. Trying to make sure my technique was right as I was doing it, but not just throwing jabs, but throwing jabs as well in combination with other things. So starting everything with a jab. So a jab and a hook with the same hand, or a jab and then a straight punch, or a jab and then an uppercut, or whatever. Maybe multiple jabs and then a straight. So I just jab for 3 minutes in different ways. Moving around where I could, but not really focusing on movement yet, because that's not what that round was about. It was really just jabs. The second round, basically the same thing, except then I switched to southpaw and jabs here. So not so much focusing on the speed or power, just really wanting to get the technique right, making sure my fist is connecting right, making sure my feet are moving the way they should with these punches. I'm turning with the torso, all of that fun stuff. That's so important. Getting the basics down. After that, I did 2 more rounds, left and then right-handed, focusing on the hook, the lead hook, but also the straight punch of the opposite hand. So left hand first, just hooks, making sure I'm keeping that elbow up. I told you guys I was working on that before, because my hooks get lazy and I'll punch like this when I need to have it up and like flat. And so I wanted to concentrate on that, moving my feet and torso with it, making sure my straight punch was good, fully extending, turning the torso with that as well, turning my foot with it as well. And so I did 2 rounds of that, one on the left hand, one on the right hand. Then I switched over to the double in bag. And I keep turning back because I have it written down on the marker board so I remember what I'm doing because I want to do this every week. Then I switched over to the double in bag. Oh no, take that back. Sorry, I didn't go to the double in bag yet. I did two. That's when I started working on movement. So I did one round where I was moving in and out. So punch, 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 backing up, getting out of range. Then I'll move around a little bit, charge in, punch a few times, back up again. 3 minutes of that, moving different ways, trying different combinations, and just kind of getting my feet moving in and out quickly and, you know, trying to keep that distance. Then I did a round of head movement. So not so much throwing as many punches as much as I was just practicing slipping and throwing a punch following that slip. So kind of doing things like this and coming around and punching, maybe slipping that way and then throwing a punch, maybe just slipping back and forth, just practicing that type of movement to make movement. There's another vowel in there, Kris. Not vowel, consonant. More consonants in there. And so just making sure I was doing that, dodging those punches, and striking, counterattacking with it. At that point, I went to double in bag and did that drill that I showed you guys before. Whoops. Where I practice weaving underneath and a hook. Weave, hook. Weave, hook. Or actually, this side I was doing straight punches. Forgot. So straight on this side, hook. And so then I did that for a minute and a half at an orthodox stance. Switch my feet, switch my position, and now we're going hook here, straight, hook, straight. And so I did that for 2 rounds actually. The second time, the first round was stationary. The second time I did it, I moved around more. So I'm coming on this side, weaving under, weaving back, coming around, whoo, and just kind of getting more movement in. Then, so that was 8 rounds already. So at that point, I wanted to work on combinations. Just all sorts of different combos. Combos off of the jab with on the same side. Sometimes just doing the, just a, your standard 1, 2, that type of thing. Just any kind of combinations I could think of. The goal was to not throw a single punch. Like anytime I threw a punch, it had to be at least 3. Was the goal there. So I didn't even care what the combinations were. Just 3 to 4 punches, sometimes even more. Actually, I did that for 2 rounds, and I think the first time I did it was 3 punches. The second time, I think I did 5 punches or more every combination. Whew. Then I did 2 rounds of body shots. So basically combinations again, but really focusing on the body, coming in close. Sometimes just from a distance and kind of ducking down and punching, working like these uppercuts, and you know what a body shot is. I don't have to explain what that is. Just hitting lower, below this line there. So I did 2 rounds of that. And then I did one, basically a shadow boxing round. I did a video with the slip bag where I was working on slipping, taking a step with that, slipping, and then pivoting 90 degrees, and then throwing a punch. And so I just did 3 minutes of doing that. The first minute or so, minute and a half, I went slowly to get the technique down, build the muscle memory, which I clearly didn't build well enough. And then I sped it up. And actually I was alternating between which punch I throw because I haven't figured out which one makes the most sense. I feel like the jab is more natural because it's going the same direction that I'm spinning or pivoting. It's a continuation of that motion. But with the right, that's going to be the stronger punch. So I don't know. I was going back and forth. Let me know what you think about that. Give me some feedback. So I did a round of that. Then I did 1 round working at a distance. So getting just barely in range. And I've done this before. I think I've talked about this before. So getting just barely in range, just to make sure that I'm completely extending and like trying to make myself punch as far as I can and really stretching that muscles and turning my torso to get that full range of punch. Eventually I'll probably transform that to working on things to help me get inside, but I still have to learn that because that's something I'm really terrible at. So I'm probably gonna have to get somebody to help me build some skills in getting close. But for right now, I'm just working that distance in this way. And sometimes I would go low as well, you know, kind of squatting down, reaching and hitting that bag. Then I did around the opposite of that, up close. Just getting as close as I can, pushing up against it. I saw a video, and unfortunately, I don't remember who it was, but he used a like an elastic band and put it around himself and the bag, and used that to make the bag pull towards him, and you know, so he had to kind of fight. It's kind of simulating somebody who's coming up on top of you and like trying to fight them back. So I was doing it just by pushing against the bag and letting gravity push back against me. But I may get one of those bands because that seemed like a cool idea. So just keeping close and trying to keep my guard up really well and still throw punches and push this bag back and like really fighting up against that bag. And so that was 15 rounds. And then the last round, I just burned. Just punching, not caring about form at all, just straight non-stop punching for 3 minutes. And that was pretty brutal. But that was really good. For one, I'm sure I burned through a lot of calories there, which is part of the goal. But also, it really taught me not to depend on my arms to throw punches. Because very quickly, and this is the last round, so I've been already doing this for an hour almost, or right around there. Because this whole workout took a little bit more than an hour. I forgot the exact minutes. So I'm just, you know, within a few seconds, my arms were exhausted already. And I really had to rely on my torso and my legs to provide the power and the, I guess, what do you call that, projection? To throw those punches, or momentum, I guess, to throw these punches and keep it going for the full 3 minutes. That was tough. That was tough, but I was able to do it the whole time. Towards the end, it was getting a little slower, but I tried to keep at least this pace the entire 3 minutes. It started out faster, but this was about as good as I could do it towards the end. So it worked, and so that was a great workout. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna keep doing that every Sunday is the plan. According to my fitness app, I should have burned around 600 calories or so that was pretty nice. And I'm really happy with that. All right, hopefully this is something that you can implement as well to your routine. Let me know what you think, or if there's something you think I should add. But 16 rounds I think is enough for me. That's enough. Maybe I'll take something away. I don't think I'd add. But let me know what you think. I'm always open to suggestions and feedback. Like, subscribe, leave some comments, all that fun stuff. And I will catch you guys next time.